What's your favorite color?
I'd probably go red.
Red bus.
Yeah.
Big red bus called the Paul bus. And he would drive to the bars with the free drink, drop everybody off, grab the free drink, and go to the next bar.
That's like the OddsMonkey bus analogy.
What is up, everybody? I am Jason Trost, the host of Business of Betting podcast. I'm joined today by Paul King, the founder of OddsMonkey. OddsMonkey is a pretty well-known match betting service, and we're going to get into that a little bit. I'm really excited to have an in-studio guest today. So this is, I think, my first or second episode. I think probably my first episode where I have an in-studio guest, so we don't have to deal with remote conversations and whatnot. So first of all, thank you for joining the podcast, Paul.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me along.
So I usually like to ask where people are dialing in from, but where did you come from?
So I'm up near just outside Cambridge. Okay. So yeah, normally not too bad, but yeah, train strikes today. It's been a bit more of a challenge, but yeah.
Right. Did you get hit with that?
A little bit. I drove into Cambridge to get the train because the trains in the surrounding areas were a bit affected, but yeah, it's not too bad.
So match betting, I guess, why don't you define match betting for the audience, and then we can get into it.
Okay. Not an easy thing to do, which is one of our marketing challenges. So in its simplest form, match betting is a way to use the value that bookmakers offer through free bets is the most common, to try and lock that in for a profit for our customers. So for example, there might be a bookmaker offering a £50 sign up promotion. So if you sign up, they'll give you a £50 free bet. Normally they want you to use that to risk your own money and then potentially stay on the platform. So matched betting involves taking that free bet, placing a back bet, and then placing a lay bet at a betting exchange to basically cancel out that free bet, which takes away a lot of the risk, in some cases all of the risk, and then it means that you can end up with a profit. So that's it in its simplest form. And that's how, when I discovered match betting, it was a very manual process. So I read about it probably sort of 10 or maybe closer to 15 years ago on Martin Lewis's Money Saving Expert website. Okay. It was all over the forums there, but it was a really manual process. There was no software to help you. So it was really trawling bookmakers' websites and betting exchanges and looking for odds. You don't really care what you're betting on. You just want odds that are pretty similar so that you can, reduce as much of that qualifying loss, which is what we call it, the amount you lose when you qualify for that free bet.
And what were you doing before you got into this?
So I was a computer developer working for a local government, not a very exciting job.
That's exciting to me.
Well, not really. So if you lived in Enfield in North London back then and you wanted to order a new waste bin, then I probably wrote the form that you ordered that on. Okay. So it really wasn't that glamorous.
Is your form still working, or did it get reset?
Surprisingly, a few of my forms are still, last time I checked, if you pay your council tax in Enfield, you still use the form that I worked on, which is, remarkable. And
so back in the day when you were just starting on this forum, like approximately how much money were you making from sort of doing it on your own?
So I discovered it, tried to read about it on the forums, and it was just pages and pages of text, and kind of gave up. It just seemed too difficult. And then the motivation for me was that I got the option to get a season ticket for the football team that I follow. I'd been on the waiting list for 15 years, but it was £1,000 at that time. I had a mortgage, 2 young kids, didn't have a spare £1,000. I thought, right, I'm going to go back, read about this match betting and try and understand it. So that was my first aim, was to earn £1,000, which back then you could earn it even more quickly than you can do now. So within the space of a few weeks, I'd managed to make £1,000 that season ticket. And that was kind of the light bulb moment that went off that it really does work. But also then I started thinking about how I could use my skills being a computer programmer to try and simplify the process and to try and remove some of that sort of manual labor intensive trawling the web pages to find the best odds.
And then, so you said, I guess the market has changed a lot. Just to sort of put some numbers on it. How long would it take you to make £1,000 15 years ago? And how long would it take you to make £1,000 today?
So 15 years ago, within the space of a few weeks, quite easily, the bonus offers from the bookmakers were, a lot more generous. Today, £1,000, we normally say to our members within the first sort of month to 2 months, depending on the time and effort that they're putting in. Once you move on from those bonus offers, then how you transition to sort of ongoing profits and earnings has changed quite dramatically from back then. We've had to introduce new tools because a lot of the offers have changed. And I think essentially the bookmakers have wised up a little bit and tried to change their offers to make it more difficult. And that's kind of what, we focus on at OddsMonkey, is trying to, come up with new pieces of software to try and ensure that we keep giving our users a consistent way to money on an ongoing basis.
And how long has the OddsMonkey been going for?
I think I built it in 2010 and we launched, I think, 2011. And then I ran it, but at this point, it was just a sort of back bedroom hobby business. I ran it for the first 5 years.
What'd you do with your front bedroom?
Kids. So at that time it was just software, because I didn't have the time to train people. So people were learning about it on Money Saving Expert, and then they were hearing about OddsMonkey software that made it easier. And then they were coming and subscribing and paying a subscription fee to use my software. During that 5 years, I also created a few sort of B2B relationships. There were some other websites that were training people, and then they pay to use my software. A lot of those websites are still in existence now. Some of them are quite big in our industry. My excuse would be I was too busy to probably fully appreciate that those early commercial agreements that I had were, pretty wide of the mark in terms of the value that my partners were getting out of it, and from the software and what we were charging them. Yeah, for me, it was just additional money coming in. It was very much a lifestyle business. I was probably a bit naive to the sort of scale that we could build it up to. And that kind of continued till 2016. And that was a real change for OddsMonkey, where we kind of had like a management buy-in for some other people that I'd met that were in the industry. And then we changed from being software only to actually being a sort of, full service offering. And we gave people the education piece alongside the software.
Match betting is one of those communities that I had no idea existed when I founded Smarkets. The initial seed for me getting into sports betting was I was fascinated by people trading events, namely politics.
Yeah,
not really so much sports. And when we launched the exchange, we kind of almost tripped into this market just because the exchange is such a natural counterparty to trying to extract the value from these offers. But to me, it was remarkable that there's this whole industry that exists, just sort of trading startup sign up bonuses from bookmakers.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people. I mean, we've had, I think, nearly 500,000 members that have registered to the site over the last 10 and a bit years, and there's lots of people that know about it, but there's still loads of people that don't, and that is our marketing challenge, is convincing those people it's a genuine thing. It does work. It makes sense. It's all based on math. Because as soon as people hear about placing bets, they assume there's an essence of gambling. Whereas using mathematics and software, we do kind of remove the typical risk associated with gambling.
So, what do you think about the sports betting industry in particular? Like, are you a sports bettor yourself? Do you like sports betting, or is this just a money game for you, like Sudoku?
Yeah, not really. I've placed bets over the years. I'm a football fan. Yeah, I've bet on football, but sort of normally realized that I never ended up in the long run. So not really. In terms of my attitude to the sort of the betting big sportsbook bookmaker industry, I think they get they do pretty well out of it. So I don't feel guilty for educating people on a simple way to make money from home using their offers. If they're throwing out these offers, then they're throwing them out to try and attract customers. It works for them. That's why they continue to do it. So if a few people sign up, all they're doing is using what they're offering. They're just using it in a clever way that they can take a profit from it.
Yeah, if I were to simplify this, because I do think it's quite a complicated thing to go through, and I actually just went through your whole sign up flow myself as a customer, and even though I run a betting exchange, it's quite confusing. Lots of terminology, lots of buying, selling, timing issues, like pricing issues. But the rough thing is, like, let's say bookmaker X offers a 20-pound sign-up bonus. There will be certain terms and conditions with that. Often the ones I was doing had something called a qualifying bet. So basically you place a bet at a neutral risk to qualify for the bet. So you'll bet 5 pounds or 10 pounds for something at the bookmaker. Then you'll go to an exchange and sell 5, 10 pounds, the equivalent as close as possible to the odds. So it's a net neutral trade. And then you get into the bonus, and then you use the free money to arb against an exchange bet. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Is that a good summary?
It is, yeah, and that's essentially it. And that's kind of the default match betting process. Is you place a qualifying bet, then it might be neutral, or there might be a small loss. You might lose a few pence, but that then unlocks your free bet, and you kind of repeat the process. Yeah, it is complicated. I can assure you it's a lot simpler now than it was 10 years ago, but it is something that we continue to work on to try and come up with new ways to try and innovate and make that process. There's the education process and then also the tech around it to try and simplify it as much as possible. We're a little bit limited on the tech side from the fact that you have to place the bets yourself, because otherwise that would be a breach of the terms and conditions. We can't place them for you. So there's always going to be that requirement for an education to make sure you're comfortable, you know what you're placing the bets on. So yeah, our aim is to try and spoon feed our new customers as early as possible, just so that they're comfortable and they know exactly what to place those bets on.
So what pushback have you gotten from the sports betting industry?
Not a great deal in terms of like formal pushback. I mean, yeah, no one's threatened to take us to court or anything, because essentially, like I said, we're not breaking any terms and conditions. We're just, educating people. We get the odd tweet and stuff from an angry bookmaker that doesn't like matched bettors, because and that's not why they're putting their promotions out there. They want customers that are going to sign up and continue to bet in the long run. But no, nothing really significant other than that. I've not been chased out of a bookmaking shop yet. So
when's the last time you were in a bookmaking shop?
Probably quite a while ago, to be honest. Yes. Yeah. I did used to like fruit machines in my very early days. So yeah, I used to, go in there. My mate used to like betting. So he'd be betting on the horses and I'd have a dabble on the fruit machines.
Very nice. So you get a little bit of pushback, but not really. But I would assume that, I've seen the P&L for match bettors. They tend to win on the bookmaker and lose on the exchange. And you make money from these guys. So it's a betting is a zero sum industry. So the combination of this match betting industry is taking money out of the pockets. Are you, I'm putting words in your mouth, but are you saying they're making so much money from people who aren't match betting that it kind of all comes out in the wash?
I think they're making so much money, or my take would be they're making so much money that a few matched bettors not using the promotions.
It's like a credit card points kind of game.
Yeah, kind of. But also different bookmakers' attitudes to matched bettors changes quite a lot. I mean, we've had times where we've had Ladbrokes come to us and say, we want customers. We don't, and they know who we are, when they know the type of customers we'll be sending them. But for some reason, the new affiliate manager comes in and he just wants customers through the door. So their attitude does change. And then 6 months later, they won't want our customers. We don't tend to, even if a bookmaker came to us, we wouldn't send them customers in that situation anyway, because we're sending them customers and they could easily be tagged as sort of, value bettors or whatever internal tag they use, but they know what they're doing. So they might not get to bet on that platform for as long as they might do if they just turned up as a sort of a regular punter.
So from your perspective, well, I guess I've seen like very notably in the UK, Bet365 used to have a £200 sign up bonus for years and years, and I was checking the other day and it's £30, I think. It's a pretty remarkable.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest drop. Bet365 were always the most generous back in the day. They had that £200 for quite a while. Do you think
that's because of people like you and me that has dropped that bonus down, or do you think they lost that money on normal bettors? What would you take on?
I think they had that offer for such a long time, and last time I checked, they were doing okay. So I assume it worked for them for a long time. I think there's a chance that matched bettors influenced the fact that it was the fact they reduced it, but possibly, I think it's probably more likely that matched bettors affected smaller bookmakers, and they were like, right, well, we need to drop our offer because we're not getting the right customers through the door. And after a while, there were so many of these bookmakers that had reduced their offers, and Bet365 thought we don't need to stand out as much as we are. And I think they were one of the last to drop down.
Right.
So definitely that initial welcome promotion, that's why I sort of said it used to be a lot easier. It has reduced. So I think the current sign-up offers for the bookmakers in the UK are around £800. And that's the simplest form of matched better when you first sign up.
£800.
Like if you did all of them. If you did all the welcome offers.
And how many bookmakers are there in the UK from your perspective?
I'd probably struggle to tell you, to be quite honest. I know we've got over 100, but then that's includes Europe as well. Okay. So I'd guess it's
over 100 UK facing bookmakers.
That actually service UK customers.
Okay.
Over 100.
Can presumably get a bonus from each of them.
Pretty much, and that's what surprises people as well. A lot of people they hear about it and say, "Oh, I've already got accounts at all the bookmakers." And you think that's probably quite unlikely. That's probably more than you think. Yeah, exactly.
So, what do you think is the future of bookmaking and bonusing and things like this?
So I feel it's plateaued in terms of the offers that they're offering. It has come down, as we've mentioned, but it seems to have plateaued at the moment. And there's different types of offers coming out. Best odds guaranteed on the horse racing is one that is really popular with our members at the minute. There's the 2-up offer on the football, where if a team goes 2 goals up, then they'll pay out, and there's ways to make money from that. So I think they'll continue to be more creative in their offers. And yeah, for us, that's a challenge of like, if a bookmaker's offering value to the customer to try and entice them to come and use their platform, then there's normally a way to extract that value. And that's kind of what we do when we get our heads together in our product team and working with our customer service team, who are always speaking to our customers, and just try and find new ways to try and exploit, but that sounds quite to utilize, extract the value from those offers. So in terms of the bookmaking, I mean, from the matched betting side, I mean, we're focused on trying to, I know we've touched on it already, just trying to continue to simplify that process as much as possible. I think we've done a really good job over the last few years, but we've got, big plans to try and continue that. I'm now really focused on the product. We've had a few changes over the last couple of years in terms of the company, and we've merged recently with a different company, and that's allowed me to sort of, focus on the product a lot more. So putting together and building out a roadmap for how we can continue to improve the UK, but now we've also recently launched in the US as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously there's a lot opened up over there. There's definitely some nuances to that that industry and that market, as I'm sure you're well aware of. But essentially, there's no reason why a similar concept such as matched betting couldn't work in other countries and territories. And US is probably going to be next for us. Well, we've got a site up and running over there, just starting to explore, registered and licensed in a handful of states. So testing the water over there. Got some early traction. So it's exciting too.
Great. And I guess full disclosure, OddsMonkey and Smarkets, we work together, and we've worked together for years. So I'm a conflicted party here. But from your perspective, what do you think about exchanges, and what would you like to see exchanges do or not do, or because I think you have quite a unique perspective in the industry of seeing sort of it from the tech side, the utility side of the industry.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm obviously a big fan of exchanges, because the exchanges are what makes matched betting possible, really. Being able to bet on the other side of something means you can cancel it out, which, once you start understanding matched betting, you realize how important that is. It's probably a little bit more on the boring side, but for us, the real challenge is KYC with an exchange. Because obviously, as an exchange, as any gambling operator, you need to go through the normal KYC process and be really strict and diligent around that. But matched bettors are a bit of a unique type of bettor, because it might look on the exchange, or it might look on a bookmaker like they're losing quite a lot of money, whereas we know that they're cancelling those bets out. So that creates a bit of a challenge in terms of, I know we've touched on it in the past, and when we've chatted with your teams about different ways we could try and tackle that, because if you just looked at it in isolation at their activity on one of those platforms, then it might look like they were a really high risk customer. So that's probably an area where it would be good if we could try and progress a way to work out how we can just make that as simple as possible. Because if these customers aren't losing money and they're not at risk because they understand matched betting and they're going through that process, then we want them to be on Smarkets and using you rather than a different exchange. So the big one for us was a box that we ticked with you guys was integration. So you can now place Smarkets bets through the OddsMonkey website, as which it was just another big step in simplifying the process. So I know you probably have a big challenge in educating your customers the first time they see a betting exchange. If all they've experienced before that is a sports book, then they look quite different, and an exchange can look quite daunting. So we're bringing in customers that don't even have that sportsbook knowledge a lot of the time. So we're giving them the instructions. It's now go and create your account at Smarkets, and then they log into Smarkets, and it can be quite overwhelming. So they can now link their Smarkets account with OddsMonkey, and then just click a button on the OddsMonkey site. And not only will they not have to go to Smarkets to place that bet and potentially make a mistake, everything, the exact amount, which can sometimes be an odd amount, they might be laying £12.32. They can just click a button and that's done. And if the odds have changed, then the software will take care of that and it will just find the next bet. So they haven't got worried about, sort of like partially matched bets or anything like that.
How would you contrast match betting with arbing? Are they two branches of the same tree? Are they completely different trees?
So the majority of the bets that we ask our customers to place are sort of, NARBs or nearly ARBs.
NARBs. I've never heard that before.
Right. Okay. Yeah, new one for you. So we wouldn't recommend that our customers place ARBs because that is value that a bookmaker could quite easily look at somebody's track record and say, right, well, based on that information, they're only placing value bets. So if they can just stay below the point where it's NARB, and our software shows that in a percentage value rating. So 100% would be, basically.
So a bookmaker,
neutral.
if they have a bad price, say like they're too high on the bookmaker, you can buy in the bookmaker, sell on the exchange, and get value just by crossing off the risks against each other. And you're saying that bookmakers will notice this, and then what?
Close their account. So stop them from betting anymore.
So from your perspective, that's completely legal and it's within bounds, but do you think that's ethical behavior?
Not at all. No.
So what's your take on that?
So the fact that a bookmaker, I mean, them offering bad odds or odds that aren't as competitive as they maybe should be is fair enough. Like if they've got to attract people to come and bet on their platform. If their odds aren't great, then it's customer's choice. But having those odds and then having a customer sign up and then win consistently or only bet on odds when they are good value and then closing their account down, how's that fair? But they're quite happy to have customers sign up and lose loads of money. Yeah, that's great for us. That's great for our profits. Like, surely it's got to be. I'm a big fan. I know there's been talk of it in the past about trying to change the sort of regulations around.
So you think it should be illegal that they can do that?
Yeah, I'd say so. Because I'd say if you're offering a service, then how can you pick and choose? But they're essentially saying we only want people that are bad at betting. I mean, how does that sound fair?
Well, that is their business. That's how they make their money. So I completely agree with you. I do think it's unethical. But to steelman this argument, I would say that, in any business, you have the right to choose who you want as a customer. So like if you have XYZ person that wants to sign up for OddsMonkey and you don't like them for whatever reason, you don't have to take their custom. So from that perspective, I think bookmakers, just like any business, should have the right to choose who their customers are. The other aspect of sports betting, it's a zero-sum game. So if your customer is making money, you're losing money. So from that perspective, not only should they have the right to pick their own customers, but they'll go out of business if too many people win money. So what would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, they'll go out of business if too many people win money. There's a lot more, I would imagine there's a lot more bad bettors out there than there are good bettors. So I still think that, and there are bookmakers that don't restrict customers and they try and protect their profits through just making sure that their odds are sharp and that and pay more attention in that way, is my understanding. It's a fair point, to be honest. Like if you had a bar and you were giving away free drinks, then if somebody comes in and starts causing trouble, you want the option to refuse their custom. But that's a more extreme example. If they're just coming in and sitting down and just drinking the free drink and then leaving, then they're not really breaking the rules. They're just not sticking around for more drinks afterwards. So I certainly don't feel it's ethical, but it's a valid point. It is their business, but maybe.
Because there will be bookmakers who are listening to this podcast. So I want to just sort of have an honest debate. If you use your bar example, aren't you guys the ones that are going to get free drinks and then leaving?
Yeah.
So maybe why isn't your behavior unethical? So why is it unethical? And I'm being a little bit punchy to have a brisk argument, but if it's unethical for the bookmaker to drop somebody because they're finding value, why is it ethical for you to teach people how to pick off the bookmaker and extract value risk-free?
Because in the bar example, I don't think there's anything wrong. I don't think it's unethical. If there's a big long strip of pubs and they're all offering one free drink, then why wouldn't you just walk in and get one free drink from each of the bar and then move on to the next one? If you go into one of those bars and it's fantastic and the music's banging and there's loads of great people in there, then you might stick around. So in that respect, if
what
the
if you
bookmaker
had the hall bus?
Yeah.
Big yellow bus. What's your favorite color?
I'd probably go red.
Red bus. Yeah. Big red bus called the Paul bus. And he would drive to the bars with the free drink, drop everybody off, grab the free drink, and go to the next bar.
That's like the OddsMonkey bus analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah. I don't think.
Anyway, I mean, I'm on your
But-
side. Like I do
But then I'm
think
not, yeah. But then I say that it's more like I've got a website. It's just telling people these are all the best bars that give out the free drinks. Go and get a free drink here. Go and get a free drink there.
Yeah.
And another reason I don't feel guilty from helping teach people how to do that is just when you sit and read the feedback we get from our customers, that there's so many people out there where it's a bold statement, but it's changed their lives. People that have gone on holidays, redone their kitchen, saved up for new cars, just because they've found a way to earn a little bit of extra money working from home. Well, from their home in a simple way. And then you see that about profits from Bet365 executives. So no, there's certainly no guilt in teaching people how to make the most of those offers.
Fair enough. Cool. As we're getting close to wrapping here, what would you like to see happen in the industry?
The matched betting industry or the bookmaking industry?
Either or both. You want it to be illegal for bookmakers to drop customers. What about stake factoring? Where do you sit on that? Is that fair game?
I think it kind of falls into a similar area in terms of treating customers. If to me it feels right that customers should be treated equally, fairly. Like if you sign up to something and you're good at something, then why should you be penalized? And it's like, I don't want your business anymore. But I do also appreciate when you just flip it around to a purely business commercial sense, you say, well, why would you want those customers? Then why can't we pick and choose? So it's an interesting debate. And I just think that the minute one side's got a real sort of the best case situation, they're getting a lot more out of it than the other side and the normal customers. Yeah, obviously I've spoken about the great feedback from the positive side of match betting. There's equally bad stories from bookmakers that don't do a great job on looking after their customers. So
one of my favorite aspects of match betting is that it really clearly shows that you don't have to lose money in sports betting. You know, people sometimes will group people will group sports betting with gambling. You're going to lose money. It's stupid. All these kinds of things. But at the end of the day, when you're placing a sports bet, it's just a trade. Like you're trading on Arsenal to win or not to win, whatever the case might be, but it's still a financial trade at the end of the day. And match betting really shows that it's just a financial market and there's quirks in the financial market. There's value just like there is in the stock market. And it really drives that home. And those positive stories are good examples of people making money, and some make good money.
Yeah, it's definitely another way. Like a lot of our, like I said, a lot of our customers that sign up aren't sports fans or gamblers or bettors, and I think it does sort of educate them is a different way that it works, and very different from just your typical bookmaker offering on something to happen. So it's appreciating that other side of the coin. And I think sometimes when we're trying to explain to people how an exchange works, it's like normally it's always the bookmaker's always laying the bet, like he's laying the bet, we're just using somebody else rather than the bookmaker. But it is interesting, and it's good when people understand that, but getting there is quite, as soon as you mention the word lay bet, then it like confuses a lot of people.
I hate that terminology.
I don't think it's best, and we try and say that whenever you hear the word lay, just think of something not happening. And because
I like sells.
Yeah, but that's probably your background, I guess. Sure. Yeah. See, the buy and sell thing, I think sometimes is a struggle as well, and potentially, it's different. But then that's what we're going to do a lot more of. We've invested a lot recently in terms of trying to analyze and understand better our customers and their behavior on the platform, and speaking to our customers a lot more and trying to sort of tie up that feedback loop from our customers. And testing is something that we're really keen on doing. So we want to sit down and speak to customers and buy, sell. That's something that maybe we should try a bit more and see how customers sort of react to that. Maybe it is something that might resonate a little bit more. I guess we're all guilty of our own backgrounds and what seems simplest to us. But I think that what I've probably learned a lot over the sort of last year when I focused more on product is opinions are great, but you really need to test stuff and find out as much as you can from data.
Great. What do you want to be when you grow up?
When I grow up, I'm 43. It's been a while since I've been asked that question. From a kind of professional point of view, I guess, I'd just like to see how far we can take this match betting and how big we can make it, how many people's lives we can change. And like I said, potentially take it into sort of different areas, different countries. Outside of work, then I enjoy like woodworking. I can kind of a semi-retirement where I just make like
a little bit of carpentry.
Custom made furniture. And I've got this big long order book where people are just happy to wait until I'm free, and I just make it at my own pace. And baking.
With your shirt off?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm really struggling for money, and I'd need to get in the gym for that as well. But and baking I enjoy. So yeah, like baking.
Have you made a piece of furniture?
I've made a few bits like headboards, coffee tables, and things. Yeah, a few bits and pieces.
Very
But it's just finding the free time is a struggle. But no, it'd be good to do more of that. And so baking's the other thing that I'm in, like baking sourdough. I find really therapeutic. So doing more of that would be nice.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being an in-studio guest.
No problem. Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Cheers.
Cool. Thanks.